Video tutorial, and in this video, in this lecture, we are going to discuss about type of infections which are caused by different pathogens. And firstly, we will be starting about bacterial infections. In our previous lecture, we have discussed about the introduction of human health and disease. I have told you about the concept of health, concept of disease, concept of pathogen, and all the basic thing. Now we have to learn what kind of pathogen causes which disease. So now onward we will be first discussing about the bacterial infections, which is the major bacterial infections, then viral infections followed by protozoal, then helminthic, and eventually fungal infections. Starting with bacterial disease or bacterial infections. See, there are so many bacteria which cause infections in human being. In our chapter, we will be discussing about the major bacterial infections, as there are 5 names which are given in our textbook NCERT. They have mentioned about typhoid and pneumonia in little bit detail, and they have mentioned the name of dysentery, diphtheria, and plague. So first I will be teaching you about 5 disease. Later on in bacterial infection, I will be telling you about tetanus, tuberculosis, then leprosy, and even cholera. So these are the general bacterial infections which has been experienced by human being. Starting with the first bacterial infection. The first bacterial infection is typhoid, and other name of typhoid is enteric fever. Typhoid is also known as enteric fever. Reason being, this bacteria release certain toxins which are endotoxins, and they start damaging the cell of enteron, the epithelium of enteron. How they do that, we will be discussing later on in the topic. So first, the pathogen. Okay, in all the disease, we will be following a pattern. I will be telling you about the pathogen, incubation period, mode of transmission, general pathogenicity, diagnosis and treatment, like we have discussed in sexually transmitted disease or STDs. So same pattern would be followed here. I will be trying to go in little bit detail here in order to polish our knowledge, right? So pathogen here is a flagellated anaerobic gram-negative bacilli, depending upon the shape, and name of that pathogen is Salmonella typhi, and this is what you are learning from your lower classes, that the causative agent of typhoid is Salmonella typhi. Here you have learned that it's a gram-negative bacilli shaped bacteria which is anaerobic and flagellated. The mode of transmission of typhoid is generally by contaminated food and water. Transmission is by contaminated food or contaminated water. This food could be contaminated by different ways. Either they have been contaminated by fecal matter, or they have been contaminated by certain flies which has been transferring the pathogen from fecal matter to the food. So transmission is contaminated food and water. Incubation period, third, the incubation period of typhoid. See, what is the concept of incubation period? There are 2 terms which I love to mention here. What do you understand by the term infection? Infection is a state when a pathogen enters in your body. After the entry of pathogen, obviously your body would try to defend it. Your body would be showing certain barriers of immunity, naturally acquired, as well as acquired barriers of immunity which try to kill that pathogen. If that pathogen survives all the barriers, if the pathogen enters in your blood and it survives, and it is surviving in your blood, we call that infection. After that survival, this pathogen start replicating, it start multiplying, and after its multiplication certain sign and symptom are there. तो from the point of entry up to sign and symptom, ये जो पीरियड होता है, दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड. फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ एंट्री टू द फर्स्ट अपीयरेंस इन ब्लड, इसको बोलते प्री पेटेंट पीरियड. सो प्री पेटेंट पीरियड एंड इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड आर डिफरेंट. जब कोई पैथोजन अपने ब्लड में चला जाएगा उसके लिए आप पॉजिटिव टेस्ट हो जाते हैं. तो जब सबसे पहले आप पॉजिटिव टेस्ट होंगे एंट्री से लेके तब तक का पीरियड इज प्री पेटेंट पीरियड. और जब आपको साइन एंड सिम्टम आने शुरू हो जाएंगे, दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल incubation period. So incubation period in case of typhoid, it is generally 1 to 3 week. It is generally 1 to 3 week. This is important to mention here. There are certain patients, certain individual which remain symptomless for a longer period, sometimes throughout the whole life. It could be symptomless as well. But do remember, if you are having typhoid infection, you are not having any symptom, you might be transferring it. You might be transferring the pathogen to healthy person. There is a classical example of a lady. The name was Mary Mallon. In medical science, we also call that Typhoid Mary. That female, she was a cook by profession and she was a carrier for typhoid bacteria. She was not having any sign and symptom in her body, but she used to transmit that bacteria to the healthy person via cooking food. So Typhoid Mary is the classical example of a carrier in medical science, and the real name was Mary Mallon. She was a cook by profession और वो रिच लोगों के यहाँ पे खाना बनाती थी और ज़्यादा वक्त एक जगह काम नहीं करती थी. जहाँ भी वो खाना बना रही है, आइदर स्नीजिंग कफिंग से उसके हाथ इन्फेक्शन हुआ और हाथ से वो खाने के थ्रू इन्फेक्शन चला जाता था. ठीक है, देन डायरेक्ट स्नीजिंग कफिंग से नहीं जा रहा था. रिमेंबर, ये जो बैक्टीरिया होता है इसको आपका रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट रूट नहीं फॉलो करता, ये एलिमेंट्री कैनाल ट्रैक्ट फॉलो करता है. तो जो फूड या वाटर है वो कंटामिनेटेड हो तो ही बीमार करेगा. तो मेनली होता यही था, जहाँ भी काम कर रही है वहाँ पर लोगों को साइन एंड सिम्टम आने शुरू हो जाते थे और वो जॉब चेंज कर देती थी. बाद में अगर आप इनका हिस्ट्री पढ़ोगे तो दे आर सर्टेन इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग ऑफिसर जिन्होंने इनको इन्वेस्टिगेट किया. इनको जेल हो गई थी, जेल में काफ़ी सालों तक ये रही, फिर इनको रिहा कर दिया गया. बाद में इनके ऊपर ये था, बैन लग गया था कि आप कुकिंग नहीं करेंगे, तो इन्होंने लॉन्ड्री का काम शुरू कर दिया. फिर लॉन्ड्री से ज़्यादा कमाई नहीं होती थी तो दोबारा से ये कुक बन गई थी. दोबारा से कुक बनने के बाद उन्होंने नाम चेंज कर लिया था अपना. फिर लोगों को सिम्टम आने शुरू हो गए एंड इवेंचुअली उनकी जो डेथ हुई थी वो निमोनिया से हुई थी और वो जेल में ही मर गई थी. एनीवेज, आपको ये याद नहीं रखना है, आपको अभी ये याद रख लेना है कि सिम्टमलेस भी हो सकता है और मेनली जो क्लासिकल कैरियर है वो टाइफॉइड मैरी या मैरी मैलॉन है. शी यूज्ड टू इनहेबिट द बैक्टीरिया, द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ बैक्टीरिया, इट ग्रोज इन हर गॉल ब्लेडर, मेजरली इन गॉल ब्लेडर, और कुछ बैक्टीरिया उनके स्प्लीन में भी मिले थे. तो लेटर ऑन जब उनका ऑटोप्सी किया गया था तो उनके गॉल ब्लेडर से खूब सारे साल्मोनेला टाइफी मिले थे. तो कई बार क्वेश्चन आता है कि भाई जो सिम्टमलेस पीपल होते हैं, जिनको टाइफॉइड वगैरह के सिम्टम नहीं होते और जो कैरियर की तरह काम करते हैं, उनके किन ऑर्गन में ये बैक्टीरिया इनहिबिट करता है. तो जो मेजर साइट होती है डेट इज गॉल ब्लेडर. सेकेंडरी साइट कुड बी स्प्लीन एज वेल. सेकेंडरी साइट कुड बी स्प्लीन एज वेल, क्योंकि उनके दोनों जगह से यहाँ पर खूब सारे साल्मोनेला और कुछ साल्मोनेला उनको यहाँ भी मिले थे. तो जो इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड होता है डेट इज 1 to 3 week एंड दिस बैक्टीरिया कुड बी सिम्टमलेस एज वेल. नाउ टॉकिंग अबाउट द पैथोजेनिसिटी ऑफ दिस बैक्टीरिया. Pathogenicity, this bacteria, if I make a bacteria here, it is having two very characteristic antigen. This is the bacteria, a very happy bacteria because it is going to infect you. That is long flagella. There would be multiple flagella which are present here. I am just making one. First, what is the meaning of term antigen? सी, एंटीजन एक ऐसा मॉलिक्यूल होता है जिसके अंदर एबिलिटी होती है टू जनरेट एंटीबॉडी. So any molecule which is having a ability to generate antibody is an antigen. And there are two antigen, classical antigen which has been associated with Salmonella typhi. There is one antigen which has been associated on the lipopolysaccharide membrane, and the name of that antigen is antigen O. Antigen O is associated on lipopolysaccharide membrane, whereas antigen H is associated on the flagella. So जब आप विडाल टेस्ट करेंगे, अगर आपको कभी मौका मिला विडाल टेस्ट का रिपोर्ट पढ़ने का, तो उसमें एंटीजन ओ और एंटीजन के रेफरेंस पर, प्रेजेंस और एब्सेंस पर ही पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव टेस्ट आता है. दैट इज ए फ्लैजिलेटेड एंटीजन. So this bacteria is characterized by the presence of two antigen. One is antigen H and second is antigen O. Now I will be telling you what this bacteria do with our body, what are the initial sign and symptom, and if this disease is untreated, what could be the later complication. So let us start. Let us continue about pathogenicity and what this bacteria do with human body. Obviously it has been ingested by feeding. So this bacteria first should be going in your alimentary canal, in the lumen of alimentary canal. So the bacteria enters in lumen of alimentary canal. Let's say this is your alimentary canal here, and this is the bacterial military or bacterial army which you have been ingested intentionally or unintentionally. Intentionally could be that there is somebody who is trying to feed you with contaminated food. Anyways, this bacteria first migrate and bows towards the intestinal wall. Initially it bows to the intestinal wall. After intestinal wall there would be mesentery. Let's say these are the mesenteric cell. Mesentery is the fold of peritoneum, and within that mesentery there are certain lymph nodes which are present. So this bacteria enters in the macrophages of mesenteric lymph node. Bacteria enters in macrophages of mesenteric lymph nodes, and after entering there it multiplies there. So macrophages, which were the scavengers of your body, they are attacked by this bacteria, and this bacteria is replicating inside the macrophage. After replication, this bacteria is released from here and it goes to certain organs. This bacteria migrate to your liver, it can migrate to gallbladder, it can migrate to spleen, it can migrate to kidneys, and last but not the least, it can also migrate to lungs. After going to these organs, this bacteria is multiplying again, and certain new generations are produced, and when these generations are produced, they come back to intestinal lumen. These are new generations of bacteria which are more pathogenic. These are initial engulfed or ingested generation of bacteria which is not that much pathogenic. This new generation, it start feeding on intestinal cell, it causes ulcers there. The new generation start feeding on intestinal cell, causing ulcer, and they release an endotoxin. They produce an endotoxin, and due to that endotoxin, fever and chills are there. Again, what I told you, initially bacteria goes to intestinal lumen. From intestinal lumen it migrates to the mesenteric lymph node. It enters in the macrophages of mesenteric lymph node and start multiplying. After multiplication, it migrates to your liver, to your kidney, to your spleen, to your gallbladder, and to your lungs. New generations of bacteria is produced here. Those new generations are more pathogenic, and they are coming back to, they are liberated to intestine, and they start eating the wall of intestine, and intestinal wall are damaged. What it causes ulcer. This bacteria also releases endotoxin, and that endotoxin result in fever and chills. Are we done up to here? So coming on sign and symptoms. The most prominent sign and symptom of typhoid, which is also mentioned in our NCERT textbook, is sustained high fever. A sustained high fever of about 39 degrees centigrade to 40 degrees centigrade is observed in the patient. It is about 102 to 104 Fahrenheit. So a sustained high fever would be there. With this sustained high fever, there would be loss of appetite. This high temperature also affect your hypothalamus, and the appetite center are closed. And patient does not have, see, appetite and hunger are two different things. That desire of eating is lost, and desire of eating is lost, obviously the patient would start losing a lot of stored energy. So sustained fever, loss of appetite, then there is pain, abdominal pain followed by constipation. Abdominal pain followed by constipation. Even as this bacteria is also enlarging in you, also multiplying in your spleen, generally the spleen enlarges. Patient might be having an enlarged spleen, splenomegaly. Right? This bacteria also affect your heart, and the heartbeat is little bit lower down. What is the term for low heartbeat or slower heartbeat? Bradycardia. What about the number of your WBC? WBC number is increased or WBC number is decreased? WBC number is decreased. We call it leukopenia. Leukocytopenia. Sir, do patient have a headache? Answer is yes. So the initial symptom, those which are mentioned in NCERT, sustained high fever, loss of appetite, abdominal pain and constipation. Later on, splenomegaly, bradycardia, leukocytopenia, headache and weakness could be observed. These are the initial symptoms of टाइफॉइड. आप प्लीज ये 4 सिम्टम्स जो याद रखेंगे विद रेफरेंस टू योर एनसीईआरटी. इफ अनट्रीटेड द लेटर कॉम्प्लिकेशन कुड बी मोर सीवियर. It can cause inflammation of many structures, and even it can cause intestinal perforation, and from intestinal perforation ultimately death can occur. So later complication could be, if untreated, the bacteria can result from the 3rd week of illness. Later complication comes, and later complication of disease can result in intestinal perforation. Perforation का मतलब होता है formation of pores. Start appearing from 3rd week of illness, and it can be fatal. It can kill you if it is not treated. With intestinal perforation, a lot of blood cells are damaged. Patient might be having anemia. He might be anemic. There is a lot of inflammation which is observed in the later complication. Inflammation of kidney could be there. Nephritis. Inflammation of the bronchioles could be there. Bronchitis. Inflammation of gallbladder could be there. Cystitis. So later complication can result in intestinal perforation, can result in anemia, can result in nephritis, bronchitis and cystitis. Is that clear? So typhoid could be fatal if it is not treated. After first week of illness, initial constipation would be there. After first week of illness, pear soup like diarrhea could be observed, and this diarrhea is really very fatal. This diarrhea can make human to lose a lot of water, and a lot of rehydration therapy could be given to patient as well. So what are the initial and complicated signs and symptoms? Please remember the initial: sustained high fever, loss of appetite, abdominal pain, constipation. It can result in enlargement of spleen, slower heartbeat, lesser number of WBC, headache and weakness. The later complication could be intestinal perforation. It can result in anemia. It can cause nephritis. It can cause bronchitis. It can cause cystitis, and even it can inflame your meninges. Meningitis could be also observed in the later complication of typhoid. Have we done up to here? And after the end of first week of illness, diarrhea could be observed. So after constipation eventually result into diarrhea, and lot of mucus and blood start coming with fecal matter. You better do not discuss that. That is a rare complication actually. Right, one more thing. This diarrhea, it is characterized by red rashes also appear on upper abdomen after completion of first week. So after first week, that pear soup like diarrhea and red rashes are observed. Is that clear? Now let us discuss how to diagnose the disease. There is a very common diagnostic test for typhoid, and we have been learning that from our lower classes. The name of test is Vidal test, and today I told you that the basis of Vidal test is presence and absence of OH antigen. So it is diagnosed by question asked very frequently: which test is used for the diagnosis of typhoid? Answer would be Vidal test. What is the basis of Vidal test? Presence and absence of OH antigen. Presence or absence of OH antigen. Right. What are the possible treatments? For treatment of this disease, we are having certain common antibiotics like ampicillin is there and chloramphenicol is there. Ampicillin and chloramphenicol are the common antibiotics. Chloramphenicol is the drug of choice. Are the common antibiotics which has been given to the typhoid patient. In case of symptomless typhoid, or in case of resistant typhoid, if the patient or bacteria become resistant to these antibiotics, in case of resistant, there are certain other antibiotic which has been prescribed to patient. Ciprofloxacin is an antibiotic which is given in case of resistance to ampicillin and chloramphenicol, and ofloxacin is also commonly used. अगर नाम वगैरह याद नहीं रहते हैं ड्रग के तो कोई इशू नहीं है, बहुत रेयरली क्वेश्चन पूछा जाएगा, बस जस्ट फॉर द योर नॉलेज पर्पस आई एम गिविंग यू सर्टेन नेम्स. Okay, one more thing. In later complication, surgical removal of gallbladder in those patients which are symptomless, they are treated by surgical removal of gall bladder. What is the term for surgical removal of gall bladder? The term should be cystectomy. So cystectomy is done, और इसको बोलते हैं कॉलेसिस्टेक्टोमी। तो समझ में आ जाता है कौन सा वाला सिस्ट रिमूव कर दो जो बाइल कंट्रोल करता था, बाइल होल्ड करता था, बाइल स्टोर करता था। तो दिस कॉम्प्लिकेशन और इन केस ऑफ सिम्टमलेस स्टेज or symptomless patient are treated by the surgical removal of gallbladder. Nowadays we are having a vaccine for typhoid as well. A killed vaccine is given to treat typhoid, and name of that vaccine is typhoid A and B vaccine. आप आगे चल के पढ़ेंगे साल्मोनेला टाइफी 1, पैराटाइफी 1 एंड पैराटाइफी A एंड पैराटाइफी B के बारे में। Anyways, so what are the possible treatments? Certain antibiotics are there. If bacteria become resistant to that antibiotic, we are using the other one. Then surgical removal of gallbladder is done in case of symptomless patient. And now we are having a vaccine for typhoid as well, that is Tab A and Tab B. Tab vaccine, it's a killed vaccine. तो जो पहला कंडीशन पढ़ा आपने, that is typhoid, इसका कॉजेटिव एजेंट होता है साल्मोनेला टाइफी, कंटामिनेटेड फूड एंड वाटर से होगा। इसका जो इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड है वो 1 to 3 वीक होता है। देन सिम्टम्स में सस्टेन फीवर, लॉस ऑफ एपेटाइट, एब्डोमिनल पेन एंड कॉन्स्टिपेशन याद रखेंगे। और क्या क्या सिम्टम होते हैं, दैट प्लीज डू रिमेंबर कि स्क्लीन अनलार्ज हो जाता है, हार्ट बीट स्लो हो जाती है, वीकनेस आनी शुरू हो जाती है, हेडेक होगा, और लेटर कॉम्प्लिकेशन में इंटेस्टाइनल परफोरेशन भी हो जाता है जिसकी वजह से डेथ हो सकती है। इंटेस्टाइनल परफोरेशन 3rd वीक से शुरू होता है और रेड रैशेज अपर एब्डोमेन पे आने शुरू हो जाते हैं फ्रॉम द 1st वीक। मास इन्फ्लेमेशन ऑफ बॉडी भी हो जाता है, लाइक किडनी बिकम इन्फ्लेम, इवन मेनिंजाइटिस कुड बी देयर, और इन्फ्लेमेशन ऑफ गॉल ब्लैडर इज आल्सो देयर। डायग्नोज्ड बाय विडाल टेस्ट एंड ट्रीटेड बाय लाइक दिस। दैट इज अबाउट टाइफॉइड। इज दैट क्लियर स्टूडेंट्स? जो नेक्स्ट इन्फेक्शन पढ़ने वाला है, दैट इज अबाउट निमोनिया। Let us discuss about pneumonia now. And pneumonia is caused by what is pneumonia? Pneumonia, it is caused by a pair of virus. If I talk about the pathogen here, the pathogen is a immotile bacteria, immotile gram positive streptococcus or diplococcus pneumoniae, and other is immotile gram negative Haemophilus influenza। यहाँ पर कई सारे क्वेश्चन गलत होते हैं कि हीमोफिलस इन्फ्लुएंजा इज द कॉजेटिव एजेंट ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंजा। आंसर इज नो। इन्फ्लुएंजा एक वायरल डिजीज होती है, हीमोफिलस इन्फ्लुएंजा एक बैक्टीरिया है जो निमोनिया कॉज करता है। कमिंग ऑन देयर मोड ऑफ फर्स्ट पैथोजन इज रेयर, देन वी डिस्कस अबाउट मोड ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन। जो निमोनिया होता है that is transmitted by droplet method. Remember that coughing and sneezing by aerosol method, माने airborne, and even by used article, that is by fomite method. जो incubation period होता है निमोनिया का, it is quite short and even within 1 to 3 days, in 1 to 3 days you might be having the symptoms of pneumonia. The incubation period of pneumonia is about 1 to 3 days only. Coming on the pathogenicity of the bacteria, there are two kind of pneumonia pathogenicity which has been generally observed. One is bronchiolic pneumonia and second is lobular pneumonia. The bronchiolic pneumonia is generally observed in young age. and lobular pneumonia is observed by the age of 10 year to 50 year. Well, you don't need to remember these ages, as it is not generally asked. Just for your information purpose, I told you this thing. What are the sign and symptom of pneumonia? First, let me discuss that. Sign and symptoms. This bacteria generally affect the lower respiratory system. Pneumonia is different from influenza and common cold. Influenza and common cold are the infection of upper respiratory system. It infects lower respiratory system, and lower respiratory system become inflamed. So simply we call pneumonia as inflammation of lower respiratory system. Pneumonia is also regarded as inflammation of lower respiratory system, of lower respiratory system or tract. Right, what are the general sign and symptom which has been observed in pneumonia? First, patient would be having fever and chills. Then cough is observed. Cough could be with sputum. So this is productive cough. There are two types of cough. One is dry cough when there is no sputum present, and second is productive cough, which could be having mucoid, sputum. Then patient might be having chest pain. Patient might be having problem in breathing. So there is shallow breathing. This pneumonia bacteria, it affect your alveoli. Now these are the primary symptoms, general symptoms. When we talk about the major symptom of pneumonia, this is the one which you really need to remember. It affect wall of alveoli, and alveoli become fluid filled. Alveoli become fluid filled. And as alveoli become fluid filled, there is problem in the exchange of gases at alveolar level. There is problem in the exchange of gases at alveolar level, and eventually the body organs start receiving lesser amount of oxygen, and they start a lot of carbon dioxide remains in your blood. So pneumonia is characterized by fluid filled alveoli. Pneumonia is characterized by fluid filled alveoli. Right? In later complication, see, there is a condition which we call cyanosis, and cyanosis is the turning of skin color to blue due to shortage of oxygen. Cyanosis also observed in case of pneumonia. In later complication, skin of lips and fingernail start turning from grayish to bluish in color. So fingernails and lips turn bluish to grayish to bluish in color. That is a prominent general feature of pneumonia or symptom of pneumonia. जब निमोनिया के सिम्टम्स को याद रखेंगे, जनरल सिम्टम की बात करें, फीवर और चिल्स आएगा, कफ होगा, प्रोडक्टिव कफ रहेगा, चेस्ट पेन रहेगा, शैलो ब्रीदिंग हो जाएगी, डीप ब्रीदिंग करना मुश्किल रह पाएगा क्योंकि एल्वोलाई के अंदर खूब सारा पानी है तो खूब सारी एयर नहीं जा सकती. एल्वोलाई फ्लूइड फिल्ड हो जाते हैं और लेटर कॉम्प्लिकेशन में जो कलर ऑफ लिप्स है और या फिंगर का जो नेल्स का कलर है वो ग्रे टू ब्लूइश होना शुरू हो जाता है. इज दैट क्लियर? नेक्स्ट, हाउ निमोनिया इज डायग्नाइज्ड. Diagnosis of pneumonia is generally done by an X-ray. For diagnosis, we can do an X-ray. How pneumonia is treated? For treatment, we are having general broad spectrum antibiotic. First one, erythromycin is very effective in case of pneumonia. Erythromycin is very effective in case of pneumonia. Second, I told you one drug which is antibacterial, competitive inhibition, sulfonylamide. Sulfonylamide sulfanylamide is also very effective in case of pneumonia. Even tetracycline can be given to the pneumonic patient. Even tetracycline can be given to the pneumonic patient. तो जब निमोनिया की बात करते हैं, निमोनिया इन्फ्लेमेशन ऑफ लोअर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट होता है. ये स्ट्रेप्टोकोकस या डिप्लोकोकस निमोनी या आपका हीमोफिलस इन्फ्लुएंजा से होगा. दोनों ही इमोटाइल है. स्ट्रेप्टोकोकस और डिप्लोकोकस ग्राम पॉजिटिव है, हीमोफिलस इन्फ्लुएंजा ग्राम नेगेटिव है. इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड शॉर्ट होता है, 1 से 3 दिन का. मोड ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन ड्रॉपलेट भी हो सकता है, एरोसेल भी हो सकता है, इवन यूज मटेरियल से भी हो सकता है. मुझे निमोनिया था, आपने मेरा यूज किया, मार्कर यूज कर लिया, तो हो सकता है कुछ बैक्टीरियाज इस मार्कर पर थे और बाय योर टच इट गोज टू योर हैंड एंड देन यू आर पुटिंग योर हैंड ऑन योर माउथ, यू कैन आल्सो गेट इन्फेक्टेड. तो फोमाइट मेथड भी होता है. देन जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक साइन एंड सिम्टम है वो एल्वोलाई फ्लूइड फिल्ड वाले हो जाते हैं और स्किन और नेल्स का कलर चेंज होना शुरू हो जाता है. एक्सरे से आप डायग्नोसिस करेंगे. और एरिथ्रोमाइसिन, टेट्रासाइक्लिन एंड सल्फोनिलमाइड आर द कॉमन एंटीबायोटिक व्हिच हैज बीन यूज्ड इन केस ऑफ निमोनिया. ठीक है बेटा, राइट. एक ना प्राइमरी एटिपिकल निमोनिया भी होता है जो इस चीज से अलग है. प्राइमरी एटिपिकल निमोनिया स्ट्रेप्टोकोकस और हीमोफिलस इन्फ्लुएंजा से नहीं होता है, कुछ और पैथोजन है. इट कुड बी ए माइकोप्लाज्मा, इट कुड बी ए बैक्टीरिया एंड इट कुड बी ए वायरस व्हिच रिजल्ट इन सच टाइप ऑफ साइन एंड सिम्टम. तो एक प्राइमरी एटिपिकल निमोनिया के बारे में भी नोट लिख देता हूं मैं. नोट अबाउट प्राइमरी एटिपिकल निमोनिया. प्राइमरी एटिपिकल pneumonia, it is caused by certain pathogen. I am just telling you about the pathogenic agent. अगर कभी सवाल पूछा गया तो उसके एजेंट पे ही आ सकता है. The pathogenic agent of primary atypical pneumonia could be a mycoplasma. A mycoplasma pneumoniae is the name. Pneumonia. It could be a rickettsia. Even chlamydia infection, which is sexually transmitted disease, chlamydia infection sometimes causes symptom like that of pneumonia. Then in virus there is a classical example of adenovirus which causes primary atypical pneumonia, and a virus which resemble like that of influenza. The name is if I am not wrong we call that PIV. Yes, para influenza virus. So these are two bacterial disease which has been discussed in our NCERT in detail, and I have covered almost all the detail of NCERT here. Is that clear bachcho? Then let me tell you little bit about dysentery, about plague and about diphtheria as well. Lecture is not going long na, right? Let me cover dysentery. Bacterial dysentery. All right, shigellosis. Shigellosis और बैक्टीरियल डिसेंट्री. जब हम डिसेंट्री की बात करते हैं बेटा तो डिसेंट्री का मतलब होता है बैड स्टमक. आप अमीबिक डिसेंट्री भी पढ़ेंगे जो एक प्रोटोजोआ कॉज करेगा. जो बैक्टीरियल डिसेंट्री है वो कॉज करता है शाइजिला. द पैथोजन इज, वी आर नॉट गोइंग इन डिटेल हियर, इट इज शाइजिला dysentery, the first name. Second species is Shigella shegi. There is one more species which cause Shigella or shigellosis, that is your Shigella flexneri. Shigella flexneri. So there are three common different type of bacteria which causes bacterial dysentery. The incubation period of this disease is quite short as well. It is like that of pneumonia, 1 to 3 days. Now coming on pathogenicity, Directly coming on pathogenicity, this infection result in abdominal pain with frequent See, I told you what is the meaning of dysentery. Meaning of dysentery is bad stomach. There is a lot of blood and mucus which start coming with stool. Stool stands for fecal matter. Right? How to detect it? How to diagnose it? The diagnosis of this disease is generally done by stool test, and treatment of the disease is either by antibiotic treatment, or oral rehydration therapy, oral or intravenous rehydration therapy is given. So you don't go in very much detail of this disease. Just remember that dysentery is caused by Shigella bacteria. There are 3 different species of Shigella which are commonly infecting human. The mode of transmission is no fun in telling, is contaminated food and water. Mode of transmission is contaminated food and water. Contaminated food and water. Right? Incubation period is 1 to 3 days. These are the 2 common signs and symptoms: diagnostic test and treatment. So we have covered 3 bacterial disease. Next I am going to discuss would be plague. Alright, so next we are going to discuss is plague. The next disease which we are going to discuss is plague. See, plague is caused by Yersinia pestis, and that bacteria normally infect rats, and from rats that would be transmitted to human being. So next is plague. The causative agent or pathogen for plague is Yersinia pestis, or let's call that pestis, or let's call that Pasteurella pestis. The mode of infection of that disease, mode of transmission, as I am telling you, this disease is a disease of rodents. Generally, this bacteria used to infect rodent, and from rodent this bacteria is transmitted to human. So there is a rat flea which we call Xenopsylla sciopis. Our common name is rat flea. This Xenopsylla sciopis transmit it from Rattus rattus to human being. जनरली जिस रैट को इन्फेक्शन होता है वो तो मर जाता है, और जो रैट फ्ली है वो फीड करने के लिए ह्यूमन के पास आ रही है अलॉन्ग विद दिस इन्फेक्शन. जो इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड होता है इस डिजीज का, इट इज 1 to 2 week ओनली. इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड इज अबाउट 1 to 2 weeks. Now I will be telling you about 3 different type of plague. First plague would be bubonic plague, second plague would be septic plague, and third plague would be pneumonic plague. So 3 types of plague we have to discuss here. And do remember, in 1345 I guess, 60% of Europeans were being killed due to this bacterial infection. So there are 3 types of plague. First one is bubonic plague, and bubonic plague is also known as Black Death. Second one would be septemic plague, जिसके अंदर सेप्सिस हो जाता है. सेप्सिस कहे तो most of the body organs become inflamed. And third one would be pneumatic plague, जिसके अंदर पल्मोनरी ओडिमा हो जाता है. तीनों ही प्लेग में अगर ट्रीट न किया जाए तो डेथ हो जाएगी। अभी जनरली ये इन्फेक्शन नहीं मिलता है, पर कंप्लीटली इरिडिकेटेड नहीं बोलते हैं डिजीज को। ब्यूबोनिक प्लेग के अंदर जो बैक्टीरिया है, इट इन्फेक्ट लिम्फ नोड। लिम्फ नोड जनरली कौन सी इन्फेक्ट करता है? जो आर्मपिट और ग्रोइन रीजन वाली होती है, आर्मपिट एंड ग्रोइन रीजन। लिम्फ नोड्स को इन्फेक्ट करेगा और वहां पर मल्टीप्लाई करना शुरू हो जाएगा, तो टेनिस बॉल के साइज के ब्यूबो बन जाते हैं। सम हार्ड पेनफुल स्ट्रक्चर आर फॉर्म्ड, हार्ड एंड पेनफुल स्ट्रक्चर लाइक द साइज ऑफ टेनिस बॉल, और उनके लिए वर्ड यूज करते हैं ब्यूबो। और उन ब्यूबो से जब हीमोरेज होता है तो ब्लैक कलर का फ्लूइड आना शुरू हो जाता है, इसलिए अच्छा, और उस फ्लूइड के बाद डेथ भी हो जाती है पेशेंट की। तो अगर आप ट्रीट नहीं कर रहे हैं, आपको ब्यूबो हो गया, तो लिम्फ ट्रांसमिशन तो कंप्लीटली ब्लॉक हो जाएगा, और लिम्फ ट्रांसमिशन ब्लॉक होने की वजह से देयर वुड बी डेथ एज वेल। टॉक्सिन्स इतने आ जाएंगे कि देयर वुड बी डेथ एज वेल। तो ब्यूबोनिक प्लेग इज आल्सो नोन एज ब्लैक डेथ। तो ब्यूबोनिक प्लेग के केस में क्या क्या साइन एंड सिम्टम आएंगे, लेट अस डिस्कस दैट। सबसे पहले तो आई टोल्ड यू देयर वुड बी ब्यूबो विच इज फॉर्म्ड। ब्यूबो से पहले पेशेंट को फीवर एंड चिल्स आने शुरू हो जाते हैं। तो देयर वुड बी फीवर एंड चिल्स, देयर वुड बी swelling due to bubo. Moreover, patient remain exhausted. There is certain mental disturbance which are also experienced before death. So mental disturbance would be there, exhaustion would be there, swelling due to bubo, and fever and chills, and eventually ultimately death. Ultimately death is there. So what I was telling you, in 1345 about 60% of Europeans died due to that infection. In India the first infection was reported in 1895, और ये जो सब प्रीवियस इन्फेक्शन रिपोर्ट हुआ था वो ना एक महाराष्ट्र में विलेज है मामला, और उस विलेज के अंदर लास्ट इन्फेक्शन रिपोर्ट हुआ था 1993 में, और वहाँ से इन्फेक्शन माइग्रेट करके गुजरात भी चला गया था, सूरत में। इंडिया में जो सबसे पहले इन्फेक्शन आया था 1895 वो हांगकांग से आया था। खैर दीज आर द सर्टेन हिस्ट्री विच अगर ना भी याद है तो कोई इशू नहीं है। देन अगर सेप्टिसेमिक प्लेग की बात करें, ओके, हाउ दिस इज डायग्नाइज्ड, कई बार क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है ब्यूबोनिक प्लेग के लिए कौन सा टेस्ट करते हैं, तो प्लीज डू रिमेंबर अबाउट वेसन स्टेन टेस्ट, वेसन स्टेन टेस्ट, एंड दैट टेस्ट इज डन फॉर ब्यूबोनिक प्लेग। ठीक है बेटा, जो सेप्टिसेमिक प्लेग होता है इसके अंदर डेथ हो जाती है 2 दिनों में, डेथ इन 2 days। सेप्टिक का मतलब होता है कि आपके बॉडी के अंदर इन्फेक्शन से कुछ केमिकल रिलीज होने शुरू हो गए हैं, उन केमिकल्स ने मास इन्फ्लेमेशन ऑफ बॉडी कर दिया है। तो सेप्टिसेमिक प्लेग के अंदर देयर इज मास इन्फ्लेमेशन ऑफ बॉडी, मास इन्फ्लेमेशन ऑफ बॉडी, इंक्लूडिंग द इन्फ्लेमेशन ऑफ ब्रेन, इन्फ्लेमेशन ऑफ आईज एंड ऑल द थिंग्स। न्यूमोटिक प्लेग के अंदर, अच्छा, जो सेप्टिसेमिक प्लेग है वो भी आपका बाय डेट रेड फ्लाई हो जाता है। न्यूमोटिक प्लेग में रेड फ्ली का कोई रोल नहीं होता है। तो एक इन्फेक्टेड पर्सन ही दूसरे पर्सन को ये इन्फेक्शन ट्रांसमिट कर सकता है, तो ह्यूमन टू ह्यूमन ट्रांसमिशन होता है। न्यूमोटिक प्लेग में पल्मोनरी ओडिमा हो जाता है, और पल्मोनरी ओडिमा का मतलब होता है एक्युमुलेशन ऑफ फ्लूइड। तो हम कहते हैं इसको दिस इज अ वेरी एक्यूट केस ऑफ निमोनिया, और पल्मोनरी ओडिमा की वजह से एनॉक्सिया तक हो जाएगा, देयर इज नो ऑक्सीजन अवेलेबल इन ब्लड एंड दैट कैन रिजल्ट इन डेथ विद इन 24 आवर्स। तो इट कैन रिजल्ट इन डेथ विद इन 24 आवर्स। इज दैट क्लियर? तो भाई जो प्लेग होता है वो यर्सीनिया पेस्टिस कॉज करता है, पास्चुरेला, इसका जो जो कैरियर होता है, दिस इज नॉट अ सेकेंडरी होस्ट, दैट इज अ कैरियर। रैट फ्ली 3 अलग अलग टाइप का है। मेजरली ब्यूबोनिक प्लेग के बारे में याद रख लेना कि ब्यूबो बन जाता है लिम्फ नोड के ब्लॉक होने की वजह से, एंड इट कैन इवेंचुअली रिजल्ट इन डेथ। ब्लैक डेथ भी कहते हैं। ब्लैक डेथ क्यों कहते हैं? क्योंकि जहां जहां ब्यूबो बनेगा दैट पर्टिकुलर एरिया टर्न्स वेरी वेरी ब्लैक। There is no blood supply, no oxygen going there. Obviously, it will be turning dark, 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 and eventually black. Then septicemic plague is there and pneumatic plague is there. Is that clear? How you treat it? आजकल इन्फेक्शन नहीं मिलते हैं, पर ट्रीटमेंट के लिए, डायग्नोसिस के लिए बता दिया वेसन स्ट्रेन टेस्ट। ट्रीटमेंट के लिए आपके पास नॉर्मल एंटीबायोटिक लाइक इरिथ्रोमाइसिन इज देयर। इरिथ्रोमाइसिन, स्ट्रेप्टोमाइसिन, these both are, even tetracycline, these are very effective against bubonic plague. आजकल तो आपके पास प्लेग का ना वैक्सीन भी आ गया है। तो लाइक इन चाइल्डहुड वी गॉट अ वैक्सीन फॉर प्लेग। जनरली प्लेग को एरेडिकेट करने के लिए मास किलिंग ऑफ रैट्स कर दी जाती है, या फिर आपके पास ना कुछ कॉट्स बना दिए जाते हैं जिस एरिया में भी प्लेग है, क्योंकि जो रैट्स है वो ज़्यादा ऊपर तो उछल नहीं सकते हैं। सर्टेन कॉट्स हैज़ बीन फॉर्म ताकि वहीं पे एंट्रैप हो जाए। तो स्टूडेंट्स, वी हैव कवर्ड 4 डिजीज टुडे। 1 वाज योर टाइफॉइड, 2nd वाज निमोनिया, 3rd वाज डिसेंट्री एंड 4th वाज प्लेग। इस लेक्चर में इतना ही। अगले लेक्चर में आई एम गोइंग टू स्टार्ट विद डिप्थीरिया, ट्यूबरक्यूलोसिस, टेटनस, कॉलेरा एंड लेप्रोसी। So this is all for today. I wish you a very good luck in learning. Please go through the whole lecture, make proper notes. If any question, any doubt comes, you can post to me on my WhatsApp. Thank you. Class is dismissed.